Students, welcome to another lesson on solving equations. So today's objective is to be able to solve equations with the unknown on both sides of the equation. Here are 6 starter questions that I'd like you to do. It's based on what you did in the previous lesson. Spend no more than 10 minutes attempting these questions. So you'll pause the video, and once you're ready to check your work, resume the video and we'll go through the answers. Okay, so let us look at this question here. We have 5x plus 3 is equal to 18. So we're going to let 5x stay at the moment, and we're going to get rid of this plus 3 by subtracting 3. Because we're subtracting 3 on the left, we'll subtract 3 on the right. So 3 minus 3 will give us 0, so we're left with 5x. And 18 minus 3 is equal to 15. Then we will divide both sides by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, so we're left with 1x. And 15 divided by 5 is 3. So it means that our answer is x is equal to 3. Let's look at the question here. Minus 3x plus 10 is equal to minus 5. So minus 3x will remain because that's where our unknown is. So we'll get rid of positive 10 by subtracting 10. So we subtract 10 on both sides. 10 minus 10 gives us 0. So we're left with minus 3x. And minus 5 minus 10 is minus 15. Then we'll divide by minus 3. So minus 3 divided by minus 3 is 1, so we'll get 1x. And minus 15 divided by minus 3 gives us a positive 5. Negative divided by negative is positive. Right, then let's look at this question. We have brackets, so we'll expand first. So 5 times x, 5x. 5 times 2, positive 10 is equal to 20. Then we'll subtract 10 from both sides. So 10 minus 10 is 0, so we're left with 5x. And 20 minus 10 is 10. Then we'll divide both sides by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, so we're left with x. And 10 divided by 5 is 2. Let's look at the next problem. We will expand. So 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times minus 1 is minus 2, and that gives us minus 14 on the right there, still remains. Then we will add 2 to both sides. So minus 2 plus 2, 0, so we're left with 2x, and minus 14 plus 2 is minus 12. And we'll now divide by 2 on both sides. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, so we're left with x, and minus 12 divided by 2 is minus 6. So our answer is x equal minus 6. For our last two questions, starting with this one, because x is being divided by 7, we're going to let that stay initially. Then we'll get rid of the plus 2, so we'll do a minus 2. We'll have to do that on both sides. 2 minus 2 is 0, so we are left with x over 7, and 5 minus 2 is 3. Because we're dividing by 7, to undo that, we divided x by 7, so to get back x, we'll have to multiply by 7. On both sides, 7 divided by 7 is 1, so we're left with 1x, and 7 times 3 is 21. So our answer is x equal minus 20 is equal to 21. Here all of the numerator is being divided by 3. So first we have to multiply by 3 to get the numerator itself. So multiply by 3 on both sides. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so we're just left with the numerator, which is x plus 1. And 4 times 3 is 12. Then we're left with x plus 1 is equal to 12, so we'll subtract 1 on both sides. 1 minus 1 is 0, so we're just left with 1x, and 12 minus 1 is 11. So those are your answers for the starter. As mentioned in the first slide, our topic is to solve equations where x is on both sides of the equation, or the unknown, it could be any letter, it's on both sides of the equation. So what we'll do is we're gonna eliminate one group of x from any side of the equation. Now, as a practice for me, I usually eliminate the smaller group of x. So we have 2x on the left, we have 1x on the right. So I'm gonna eliminate the 1x from the right. It's a positive 1x, so I'm just going to subtract 1x. And because I've subtracted 1x on the right, I need to subtract 1x on the left. Then we can work out 2x minus x gives 1x. We have not interfered with the 1, so we just write plus 1. And then on the right, we have 1x minus 1x, which is just 0. We have not interfered with the plus 5, so we need to put back plus 5. We don't need to write the sign there because 5 we know means positive, so it's plus 5. Then we need to solve for x. X is added to 1 to get 5. So to undo that, we'll have to subtract 1 on both sides. So 1 minus 1 is 0, leaves us with x, and on the right, 5 minus 1 is 4. So our answer is x equal 4. In our second example, we have 5x on the left and we have 2x on the right. So I'm going to remove this smaller group of x, which is 2x. It's positive 2x, so I'll just subtract 2x, and that should eliminate it. Because we're subtracting 2x on the right, we have to do that on the left as well. So we can now work out 5x minus 2x gives us 3x. We haven't interfered with the minus 2, so we write back minus 2. Then on the right, 2x minus 2x is 0, so we're just left with the positive 4 plus 4 on the right. Then we are going to solve 3x minus 2 is equal to 4, so we will add 2, because we leave the 3x initially. So we'll add 2 on both sides. So minus 2x plus 2 is 0. So we have 3x there on the left. And then 4 plus 2 is equal to 6 on the right. Then 3 is being multiplied by x to get 6. So we're thinking, what number do we multiply by 3 to get 6? Or we can simply divide both sides by 3 to get the answer for x. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, which gives us 1x. And 6 divided by 3 is 2. So it means that x is equal to 2. Now, if we wanted to do a check if we have gotten them correct, we'll just use this first example. It says that x worked out to be 4. So our original equation was 2x plus 1 is equal to x plus 5. And it says x is 4. So we know that would give us 9 on the right, 4 plus 5. Here it says x is 4, so we'll have to do 2 times 4 to get 8, and then add 1, and that should give us 9. So it therefore means x is actually 4 because it makes both sides of the equation equal. So you can always check your answers to see if you have done the correct calculations. Let's look at 2 more examples and then we will try some on our own. But let's go through these. So we have x on the left, 5x. We have x on the right, 3x. So we need to eliminate one group of x. It doesn't matter if there's nothing here. We just have the unknown on both sides, and that's what we need to attend to first. So we're going to take out 3x because it was a positive 3x, and we need to do that on both sides. So 5x minus 3x is 2x, key power plus 4 because nothing was done. And here 3x minus 3x is just 0. So we write 0 because we cannot leave that blank. Then the next thing to do, we're solving for x. So we're going to leave that 2x initially and then subtract the 4. So we do that on both sides of the equation. So 4 minus 4 is 0, which is 2x. Then 0 minus 4 is minus 4. Then we need to just divide both sides by 2 to get our answer for x, because x was being multiplied by 2 initially. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, so we are left with 1x, and minus 4 divided by 2 is a minus 2, so our answer is x equal minus 2. Final example to look through, we have again x on both sides, so the 2x is a smaller group of x, we're going to get rid of that one, so we'll do minus 2x, and we have to do that on both sides. Then we can work out 4x minus 2x is 2x, plus 4 remains. And then 2x minus 2x gives us 0, and then a minus 3 is left. Then we can solve with our next step, minus 4 on both sides. So 4 minus 4 is 0, leaves us with 2x on the left, minus 3 minus 4 is minus 7. Then we'll divide by 2 on both sides to get x, because x was being multiplied by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, leaves us with 1x, and minus 7 divided by 2 is just minus 7 over 2. If you want to write that as a decimal, that's fine. It would give you minus 3.5. If you get to this point and the fraction is in its simplest form, then that is okay. Unless they ask you to write the answer as a decimal, then you can go further. So it's really your choice. I'm going to give you some questions to try. Here's the first one. Pause the video, spend no more than 2 minutes solving for x. Once you're ready to check your answer, resume and we'll go through. Okay, so we have x on both sides. 2x on the left, 1x on the right, so we get rid of the smaller group of x, so that means we'll subtract 1x. Subtract 1x on both sides. So 2x minus x is 1x, plus 2 remains. X minus x is 0, so we're left with a positive 9 on the right. Then we can just subtract 2 on both sides of the equation. So 2 minus 2 is 0, so we're left with x, and 9 minus 2 is 7. Let's try another question. Spend no more than 2 minutes. Pause the video, try to solve, then resume when you are ready. Okay, let us try this one. Again, we have x on both sides, 3x on the left, 1x on the right, so we'll get rid of 1x by subtracting x. Subtract x. Alright, on both sides we have subtracted x. 3x minus x is 2x, plus 1 remains. X minus x is 0, so we're left with 5. Then we're going to subtract 1 on both sides because we have that plus 1 there. So 1 minus 1 is 0, leaves us with 2x. And on the right, 5 minus 1 is 4. Then we'll divide by 2 on both sides. 2 divided by 2 leaves us with x. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. So our answer is x equal 2. Third problem to try. Pause your video, 2 minutes. When you're ready to check, resume. Alright, we have x on both sides, 4x and 6x. So we're going to subtract 4x since it's a smaller group of x. 6x minus 4x is 2x. We're left with our minus 8. And then 4x minus 4x is 0. Now we have a minus 8 here, so we need to add 8 on both sides. So 8 minus 8 is 0. So we're left with 2x and on this right side 0 plus 8 is 8. Then we will divide by 2 on both sides. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, so we're left with 1x, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So our answer is x equal 4. Final question to try. We have again x on both sides. So let us get rid of the 1x, because on the right we have 1x, but on the left is 5x. So we'll have to subtract x on both sides just for ease of calculation. 5x minus 1x gives us 4x. 1 plus 1 remains. Then x minus x is 0, and we're left with minus 11. Now we have 4x plus 1, so we'll have to minus 1 on both sides. So 1 minus 1 is 0, so we're left with 4x, and minus 11 minus 1 is minus 12. Now we'll divide both sides by 4, and so we are left with 4 divided by 4 on the left, which is 1, and that gives us 1x. And then minus 12 divided by 4 gives us a minus 3. Well done, thanks for trying that. Now let's move to the next slide. Now here are a few questions. I would like for you to spend 15 minutes at most doing these questions. Pause the video, get those done, then resume the video to check for your answers. Here are the answers to the questions you have just tried. Please make sure that you mark them. So you might need to pause the video to make sure you check everything. Once you're through marking, resume the video to move to the next slide. Now let us have a look at, again, we're solving equations where x is on both sides, but then we have some brackets involved. We have looked at how we solve equations with brackets, so we're just going to apply that knowledge to answering questions like these. So these are just a few extension problems, a little bit tougher, requiring a little bit more steps, but once we get our head around it, then we should be all right. So what we're going to do for this example, because we have the brackets in here, let's expand that first. Okay, so 5 times x, 5x, and 5 times 1, positive 5. And then we write the rest of the equation that is given. Now we see where we have our 3x on our right and we have 5x on our left. And so all we need to do is just get rid of one group of x. I'm going to take out the 3x. Because I'm subtracting 3x on the right, I have to also do it on the left as a rule. And we are keeping our equations balanced. So 5x minus 3x is 2x, and then we add 5 to that. As the 5 hasn't been interfered with, it just has to remain. 3x minus 3x is 0, so we're just left with the 13. Then now we have 2x plus 5, so we get rid of that 5, as we know. Subtract 5 on both sides. 5 minus 5 is 0, so we're left with 2x. And 13 minus 5 is 8. Then we'll just divide both sides by 2 to get x. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, so we're left with 1x, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So our answer to that problem is x equal 4. Alright, here's another problem where x is on both sides, and as you notice as well, there are brackets on both sides, so we're going to expand first. 2 times 3x, 6x. 2 times minus 1, minus 2. Then on the right, 3 times x is 3x, and then 3 times 2 is 6. We have 6x and we have 3x on both sides, or on either side, so we'll get rid of the smaller group of x, which is 3x. So minus 3x on the right, therefore do that on the left. 6x minus 3x, 3x. Then minus 2 remains. 3x minus 3x is 0, so we're left with 6. We have 3x minus 2, so we need to add 2 to both sides. So minus 2 plus 2, 0, leaves us with 3x on the left. 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. Then we're going to divide both sides by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, so we're left with 1x, and 8 divided by 3. We're not going to get a whole number, so we can leave it as a fraction, 8 over 3. It's simplified, so it's fine to leave it like that, or if you would like to, you can work out the decimal answer to that, but leaving it as 8 over 3 is just fine. One more problem example, and then we will try some questions. So brackets on both sides, so we will expand first. 4 times 2x, 8x. 4 times 1 is 4. 5 times x, 5x. 5 times 2 is 10. Subtract 5x because that's a smaller group of x, so we'll do that on both sides. 8x minus 5x is 3x, and plus 4 remains. 5x minus 5x is 0, so we're left with just 10. Then 3x plus 4, so we'll get rid of the plus 4 by subtracting 4 on both sides. So 4 minus 4 is 0, so we're left with 3x on the left, and then 10 minus 4 is 6. So now all we need to do is divide by 3 on both sides. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so it's 1x, and 6 divided by 3 is 2, so our final answer is x is equal to 2. Now, here are some questions which involve brackets and the unknown on both sides. I'd like you to spend 20 minutes, no more than 20 minutes, trying these problems. Once you're through trying them, you can resume the video to check your answers. Here are your answers. Mark them. As I said, it's okay to leave your answer as a fraction, so it's minus 4 over 7 if you're having difficulty reading that. I'm not sure why. And then here it's x is equal to 15 over 8, which is fine to leave it as, or what they've done is write it as a mixed number 1 and 7/8. There's no need to write your answer as a decimal. So mark your answers, and then once you're through, take photos of your work, submit on Show My Homework for feedback. Thank you, and have a nice day.